Gospel of Luke, chapter 18. And listen to what Jesus says about this kind of prayer and what the nature of our praying should be. Luke chapter 18. And we'll start at verse 1. Then he, meaning Jesus, spoke a parable to them that men always ought to pray and not lose heart, saying, There was in a certain city a judge who did not fear God nor regard man. Now there was a widow in that city, and she came to him, saying, Get justice for me from my adversary. And he would not for a while. But afterward he said within himself, Though I do not fear God nor regard man, yet because this widow troubles me, I will avenge her, lest by her continual coming she weary me. Then the Lord said, Hear what the unjust judge said. And shall God not avenge his own elect, who cry out day and night to him, though he bears long with them? I tell you that he will avenge them speedily. Nevertheless, when the Son of Man comes, will he really find faith on the earth? Now, catch the characters here and understand what the application here. The persistent widow. That's a nice word. The persistent widow. This is a widow who was a pain in the neck to this guy. He says, I don't care about God. I don't care about people. I do whatever I want to do. But this lady's driving me crazy. So I will do what she's asking me to do. That's what he said. Now this is Jesus using this story to tell us how we ought to pray. You are supposed to be like that persistent widow. Constantly praying, day and night. Not losing heart. Oh, I prayed about that yesterday, and nothing happened. I prayed about that for the last week, month, year, 10 years, 20 years, 30 years, 50 years, 70 years. Don't lose heart. Keep knocking. Keep asking. Unless the Lord God Almighty speaks to your heart specifically and says, Stop, because that is not my will. That's a different story. Then stop praying. Because at that point, you're now praying outside of the will of God. But in the absence of that, don't stop. Don't lose heart. Be persistent. Now, the part of this story that, again, makes you feel a little uncomfortable is, okay, if I'm the persistent widow, and I'm asking the judge, who is the judge? Who do I pray to? That's God. And are you saying I got to bug God and be obnoxious enough and more obnoxious in my prayers to him than anybody else in the church so that my prayers get answered? Because I'll bug him enough? No. This is what is known in the study of parables as an instruction by opposites. And that's not the technical term, but that's really what it's doing. Because that's what Jesus says. He says, look, an unjust judge who doesn't regard man or God, he's going to listen to someone who just keeps talking. Don't you think God will listen to you? But you have to be careful with that line of reasoning, because my evil mind says, oh, so he'll listen to me, so I only have to say it once or twice or pray for a week. But the whole point of this was keep praying. And don't lose heart in your prayers. Keep praying. Keep on with that prayer. Keep going. Prayer is a mystical thing. I really have a hard time logically with this whole prayer thing. God knows what I'm going to pray before I pray it, and he's already working before I pray it. Well, then why should I pray? Because he told me to. What I do in prayer accomplishes nothing. Prayer doesn't work. God works. But he calls me to participate in that action through prayer. Why? I can't tell you the details. All I can tell you is, he said, do it. He said, keep at it. Don't lose heart. Keep knocking. Keep seeking. Be that persistent, obnoxious widow. Keep asking. But in humility, knowing who you are,